Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Coming to you live Wednesday, September 10th. Sage, not going to lie, been a rough day in America, but how you feel, my man?
I mean, that's all I could say. It's been a rough day. Between the Purdy news, between the global news, what's happening in America right now. I mean, we're going to try and bring some light to the audience. It'd be we don't have to get into it. It'd be a little, shameful if we didn't just lightly mention it, but better things are on the horizon, hopefully, because today's going to be one we'll remember for all the wrong reasons.
It's becoming tougher and tougher every day for podcasters like us, Sage, huh?
It's getting rough, man. I mean, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what my next avenue is.
I know, man. I know. It's tough, but that's why I feel like everybody, whenever you have tough stuff going on like that, you always want to just dive back into sports. So we're going to come to you today. We want to do a little bit of a preview of the Niners Week 2 matchup against the Saints, but before we even dive into the Saints and what's going on for the game on Sunday, the biggest thing is the Kyle Shanahan news that came out today during his press conference. So we all heard on the Monday after the win against the Seahawks that Brock Purdy picked up a left shoulder and a toe injury. And we heard today, Sage, Kyle Shanahan basically said that he's not playing. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because he's saying that he may be out for this week, but he also might be out for even a couple weeks. So a little bit concerning, not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. We saw it yesterday with how the line moved. It went from 7. Niners were favored by 7 points. Immediately, as soon as the news comes out that Brock Purdy might not play, it goes down to 4, goes back up to 4.5. Today, you get the first. I'm
seeing
bite.
3. I'm seeing 3 right now, Sage.
I think I'm betting down to 3, yeah.
Yeah.
The first sound bite you get from Kyle is Purdy's a long shot to play Sunday. And then immediately follows it up with, this is a multi-week injury. So he might be side. So how do the two things exist? How could the two things coexist? He's definitely not playing Sunday. I mean, I would be willing to bet my mortgage on it. Vegas knows. Shanny knows. I just feel like he has to throw like the weakest like pump fake of all time to try and maybe get the Saints off his track. Expect Mac Jones. It's sad, man. I mean, I don't know whether it's a Purdy thing, an O-line thing. Who's really to blame? It just sucks it happened week 1, and it's 2 different injuries that happen on 2 different plays.
I mean, it's football, Sage. It's a toe injury and a left shoulder injury. I guess you could blame the O-line more than anything, but did you listen to the entire press conference with
Yeah,
Shanahan?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Dude, he was going at some guy because apparently some guy has just been asking the past couple days, like, would you categorize this Purdy toe injury as turf toe? And Shanahan's just like, dude, like, I don't know, like, yeah, I guess it's turf toe. Like, do you want me to call it? Do you want me to call it turf toe? Like, if you want me to call it turf toe, I'll call it turf toe. So he was going at the guys a little bit, but really, I think the conversation right now is, Sage, how are you feeling about Mac Jones? We all know the story of Mac Jones, right? It was basically the worst kept secret in the NFL that with the 3rd pick, Kyle Shanahan wanted to draft Mac Jones. A lot of 49ers fans kind of went up in arms. You feel like that kind of impacted how they bounced away from the Mac Jones pick. They picked Trey Lance. He goes to New England where, let's just be honest, it was not good for Mac Jones in New England. Hops in Jacksonville last year, gets a couple games while Trevor Lawrence is out, and now he's on the Niners. But, Sage, what's your impression on Mac Jones? Are you concerned that we may lose if we have to throw in Mac Jones on Sunday?
Am I concerned that we're going to lose? Yes, I am 100% concerned that we might lose with Mac Jones.
But, like, how concerned?
I'd say I thought there was no chance that we'd lose if Brock Purdy was healthy. I mean, I didn't also, take into consideration that Kittle's going to be out and that we might be missing one of our starting guards.
Yeah.
That being said, we've been, even when this team was fully healthy, we kind of hinted at it that what would this team be if Brock Purdy wasn't mobile? Like, how badly would this O-line get exposed if Brock Purdy wasn't mobile? You saw week 1, a guy like Trent Williams is starting to kind of show signs of decline. Maybe it's just the beginning of the season. Is he going to improve that much in week 2? Who knows? But we're about to find out, because as immobile as you can get in a quarterback might be Mac Jones. I don't know if there's a guy less equipped to escape from a collapsed pocket. So I'm very nervous. I think that the Saints can heat up that D-line, heat up on Mac Jones, and we know what's happening with the receivers. Is he going to be able to get it to playmakers and get it out quick? I'm nervous. Like, in my head, I can see a way that the Niners lose this game. So it's a possibility.
I definitely wasn't impressed with him in the preseason at all, but what did you see last year? Because we're watching the entire NFL. I watched him a lot on Jacksonville because I was Brian Thomas Jr. fantasy owner, and I thought that he looked better than Trevor Lawrence. Maybe he wasn't better, but at least for BTJ he was. So that's all I really cared about. So I think that he's talented enough, Sage. I really am not seeing that big of an issue here. Like you brought up with the O-line factor, yeah, he's not mobile. So if that Saints D-line is able to get pressure on Mac Jones, it's not going to be great. But something else you got to be concerned about, they don't even have a third quarterback on the roster. So what happens if somebody does put a hit on Mac Jones? You right now don't have anybody in there. So they really got to get it all together. The entire past couple of weeks, it's been a weird situation with the roster where they're, basically dropping guys to the practice squad on Tuesday, bringing them back up Friday because of certain roster designations that they got to get set up. But it's a concern because that there's a chance that Mac Jones is going to get hit behind this.
Yeah. I mean, to dive into your first point here, I think Mac Jones kind of has had a rough hand since he's come into the NFL. I mean, he's the guy who succeeded Brady, the once apparent heir of Tom Brady, but we knew what was going on in New England. It seems like Brady was pushed out the back door, but he kind of accepted it because he saw before anyone else that Belichick was kind of losing his fastball. The way that he was drafting, the lack of talent they were putting around him was a cause of concern. And Mac Jones went into that season with no real weapons, right? Has a decent season. I mean, you could say he made the Pro Bowl. I don't consider it making a Pro Bowl when you're the third reserve. And
you're anti the reserve Pro Bowl selection for some reason.
Because look at the quarterbacks. Look at the AFC quarterbacks that year. It was him and Snoop Huntley. Like, are those the Pro Bowlers? And so I'm not counting that, but he was one of the 8 best quarterbacks in the AFC. That's what it tells you? I mean, and it just went downhill from there. But really what happened was that the next year, Josh McDaniels gets a head coaching job. They hire Matt Patricia to be his offensive coordinator. It's basically just downhill from there. And he was just in terrible situation after terrible situation. You see what the Jaguars have done to Trevor Lawrence. You see what New England is now. I mean, everyone's kissing the feet of Drake May. They can't win a game. He's 1-13 as a starter. So I do think I would want to say Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold potential, but I think there's some reclamation. There's something in there. I mean, he plays on time. He's accurate as hell. And he can learn the system. I think he's a smart quarterback. I just think when it's, time to make more out of something that's not there, that's when he struggles. And when he's around shitty talent and on these shitty teams, he just can't do that. And his weaknesses show. I think Kyle's going to be able to hide his weaknesses.
Yeah, we'll see. Because the thing with Mac Jones, what I always saw when he was on the Patriots, even with the Jaguars, especially in that one preseason game that I watched with him on the 49ers, this guy makes some of the dumbest decisions you've ever seen with the ball, especially when he's under pressure. But he is a guy where, unlike our boy Trey Lance, if he does have time in the pocket, he can dish it out to playmakers. He can almost be like a point guard in a sense. That's what I saw with him last year with Jacksonville. But yeah, with me, it's just the lack of mobility is going to be an issue, I think, and the decision making. So how are you going to combat that? You really just need to get the ball out quick. And Shanahan, he's going to have some fun, I think, with Mac Jones. Because there's part of Shanahan that he wanted to draft him. It's almost like having a crush on a girl in high school and you get with her like right after college, right? Like maybe she packed on some pounds. Maybe she got ran through a little bit in college, but there's part of you that always thinks like, I still wanted to know like what happened with that. So I feel like Shanahan's going to have some stuff schemed up and he needs to be in his bag. But sometimes I feel like with Shanahan, he's at his best when his back is against the wall, when he's got to get creative a little bit. So we're going to obviously dive into the game a little bit and what's going on with the Saints, what's going on with their defense. But I'm really not too concerned because I think that Purdy is going to probably be back next week. Who knows? There's still a chance that Brock Purdy might play. He's saying it's a long shot, but with these quarterbacks, they're psychopaths. There's probably part of them that thinks, especially Brock Purdy, a guy who was the last pick in the draft, he has that mentality like a Tom Brady where no matter what, I'm not going to lose my job. So I think there's still a chance that he might play, but I'm not too concerned with this entire situation. I feel like a lot of people are.
Are you more concerned about the toe injury or the shoulder injury? Because from what I got today, it seems like the toe's the bigger deal, not the shoulder.
That's what I've been hearing. You think that the shoulder would be bigger, but it is the left shoulder, Sage. You're not throwing like
exactly.
that. It is potentially something that you're going to be a lot more concerned with if he re-aggravates it. But a fucking toe? I mean, how bad could a toe really be?
I think the two injuries that sound the lightest but are actually some of the most damaging are turf toe. I mean, some people miss a season for turf toe, and then a hamstring pull because it's really just like a hamstring tear. Those things are tricky. Obviously, the 49ers are suffering both right now with Kittle on the IR. That's the one thing that really does make me nervous, that the Niners could be in danger because we kind of saw Purdy, I mean, albeit against a way better Seattle defense, but he kind of struggled to get the ball to his playmakers. It was really a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I'd have to assume that's going to be the plan Sunday. Christian McCaffrey. When you're tired of it, some more Christian McCaffrey. It's going to be like the win game that Mac Jones played against the Bills where they ran the ball.
Yeah, that Monday night game. Yeah.
92% of the time. The Jimmy Garoppolo game against the Packers. I'm assuming a game script similar to that. Just don't fuck it up. I mean, in 52 career games, the guy has 44 interceptions. What's that say? The guy likes to throw it. He likes to throw it to his team. He likes to throw it to the other team. Keep it in bounds, man. Like, keep it to your team. Be a Chris Paul, Chase. Be a guy, just get it to the playmakers, whatever's left of them, and just let them do work. You still have McCaffrey. You're going to have Juwan, it looks like, and you're going to have Ricky Pearsall. And I think that defense alone is enough to hold off the Saints. I just think you just can't turn the ball over.
Yeah, you brought it up. You got good news coming in with Juwan Jennings. There's a good chance that he might be out there next week. You get Kendrick Bourne. We excited all about Kendrick Bourne? I feel like
not one bit. He didn't.
I feel like we're not, but with the current state of this wide receiver room, you got to be a little excited that at least you got a body out there, because Russell Gage, I think, ran 50 or it was around 40 routes last week against the Seahawks. He didn't get one target. So we can't reliably have Russell Gage go out there and try to have an offense work, especially when you get a backup quarterback in there. I'm happy that we got some more guys in there.
I'm hoping to give Jordan Watkins some run, man. I mean, he was the talk of the wide receiver room. I mean, other than Ricky Pearsall, obviously, and kind of Juwan Jennings, but for the wrong reasons. But in terms of the rookies, right, who can make an impact on the offense, seems like all the rookies who everyone was interested in was on the defense. Jordan Watkins was the guy where you see the clips on Twitter. You see the tweets. Oh, he just burned Pat Surtain. He just burned the entire Broncos secondary. I want to see it, man. He had a high ankle sprain early in the preseason. We don't really get to see him after he makes that one kind of nice play. Was it against the Broncos? We don't see him again. He practiced last week. He was limited today. Maybe he could be a guy. He was in those preseason games. It seems like he was running with the second and third team. So Mac Jones has probably been working with him a lot. Maybe you get him in there. Maybe there's some chemistry there that, they don't know of, because he's not going to have any rapport with a guy like Juwan Jennings, who basically wasn't there the entire preseason, or a guy like Ricky Pearsall, who was running with Purdy the whole time.
Yeah, this isn't exactly capital J journalism by me right here, but he was a limited participant in practice today. 23 hours ago, he did tweet out a smiley face emoji.
Yes.
So maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's a great chance that he's going to play. I mean, those signs are just pointing to the fact that he's getting back off the mend. He's back on the practice field, and he feels like he's going to get an opportunity to suit up. And yeah, if you're Jordan Watkins, you got to love it, because a lot of the guys that you're competing with are going to be out. So it's going to give you a lot of opportunity. Who knows what Kyle Shanahan's going to scheme up for Jordan Watkins, but you got to expect that it's going to be a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey. And like I brought up, Brian Robinson, I feel like if anything, everything starts with establishing that run game, but that's going to be more about the convo, about the actual game stage. Let's get into the Jake Moody news, because we haven't actually talked about it yet. We went on, Sunday, we were fired up about Jake Moody. I was fired up. I said, Kyle, if you keep Jake Moody, I can't defend you, right? Like, through all the Super Bowl losses, all the playoff losses, I defend you to the death. If you keep Jake Moody, after what we saw in week 1, where his confidence is clearly just shot, he misses a 27-yard chip field goal that any kicker in the NFL, maybe 50% of the crowd in the stadium at Seattle could have hit. You just can't move forward with that. So they made the move on Tuesday. At the press conference today, he really said that there was no decision to be made. I think they were just waiting to bring a guy in there. They signed Eddie Pineiro, who I think previously was on the Carolina Panthers or the Chicago Bears. So, yeah. What do you think about this entire situation? The Jake Moody era is over, and you got Eddie Pineiro coming in as your kicker.
Yeah, started his career with the Bears, moved to the Jets. I actually was with Bram Boyer on the Jets, and then most recently on the Panthers. Let's start with the Shanahan pressure from today. Obviously, we get the news yesterday. The bad man's out of town. They finally ran him out. It was a telltale on where he was. I mean, Kyle was very matter of fact today in his press conference. He said there was no decision. He was mentally gone. I think there's a chance that he might still have a great career. It's just not going to be here. It can't be here. The fans have turned on him. I think he heard all the noise. The media was on him, and nobody trusted him. I mean, for a team that wants to win the Super Bowl, is going to be in situations where you got to hit clutch kicks. Why bring in a rookie, right? Like Eddie Pineiro's been around, whatever, any veteran, a guy who's going to be, still a guy who's not going to be shaking, looking like he's about to piss himself, a guy whose teammates don't want to punch him in the face after he misses 3 kicks in Tampa Bay. I think it's a good turn for the locker room, obviously for the fan base. I mean, they need to find a new villain now, right? Now that he's gone, there's got to be a second guy who's going to be the most hated player on the Niners because he unanimously had the spot. So you had to do what you had to do, man. I mean, you're gonna see it with this Niners team. The margin for error gets smaller and smaller. Kyle understands it. You don't have room to fucking dick around with a kicker when you get in these playoff spots. We saw it in the Super Bowl, missed an extra kick that totally fucked the team. So it's a good sign, man. It's a good thing that Kyle's finally getting off of it.
I just never got it because with the kicker, you can literally get anybody off the street. All they have to do is make their kicks. And with Eddie Pineiro, let's take a look at a little bit of the stats. This guy's basically one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history. Sage, I got a couple of extracurricular information about Eddie Pineiro that was pretty interesting as I was looking him up. His father, Eddie Sr., came into America in 1980 from the Mariel boat lift in 1980, where all these Cuban immigrants came into America, just like our boy Tony Montana.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. Maybe Eddie Sr. ran into a guy like Tony Montana coming down in Miami. Also, he got the Gainesville PD Service Award. Apparently, one night when he was at the University of Florida, some guy was throwing a woman outside, choking her. Pineiro came to the rescue, got a medal for it.
Okay, I didn't know this.
That's definitely something Jake Moody would not do.
Jake
Moody would be like a scared little cat. He would just chill back in his house. He'd be like, no, okay, I'm gonna call the cops. Let the cops deal with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a video and post it to Twitter, and then let the cops come and take care of this.
He ain't built like that, but yeah, 80 and 90 throughout his entire career. I think the thing that a lot of people are gonna probably eventually realize is that this guy does not have that much range. That is the one downside with Eddie Pineiro. Dave Canales, the coach of the Panthers, the team that he was on last year, basically brought up how it's not a situation where we don't like Eddie because of his kicking ability. He's very accurate. It's just he doesn't have that much of a leg. I think he's only taken 11 field goals in his career beyond 50 yards, and he's 8 of 11. Last year, he only had 2 attempts from 50 plus. I think he missed both of them. So
he split them. He went 1 for 2.
He went 1 for 2. So That is an issue because that limits what you could do. And we know that, you're eventually going to get to some spots where you get to around the 40-yard line. The drive's going to stall a little bit, and you need to put points on the board, but it seems like that's not going to be something that they could do with Eddie Pineiro.
I mean, some good news. He's, what is it? So he's 25 for 25 from 20 to 29 yards, which means he won't be missing 27-yard field goals like what we saw on Sunday. Chase, I mean, comparing Eddie Pineiro and Jake Moody, it's like apples to giraffes here. It's 2 total opposite sides of like what a kicker could be. I always use the golf analogy, right? I don't care if you could.
Kyle did too.
Did he?
Yeah, he did in his press conference. He brought up, he's like, it's like with a golf stroke, man. Like when it's in your head, when it's all a mental thing, that's when you start to mess up. And he's like, that's where we felt Jake Moody was at. I literally was listening to it, and I'm like, he literally stole this from Sage.
It's the Westbound and Down. We're running the sports media. You know where Kyle gets his takes from. But
hey, we're getting thousands of views, Sage. It's going somewhere.
Come on,
it's going somewhere.
It goes to the top, Chase. It all funnels. They hear everything. He knows the media. Jake Moody knew that the media was after him. I think that's part of the reason he collapsed. But going back to what I was saying, it's like a golfer, man. Like, I don't care if you could drive it 325 yards if it's in the fucking bushes. This guy, Eddie Pineiro, I mean, for what it's worth, last year, he was 7 for 7 from 20 to 29 yards, 8 for 9 from 30 to 39, 6 for 8 from 40 to 49. And that's where it kind of falls off, is that he's not going to hit those deep kicks. He's not going to be like a Matt Prater or a Chris Boswell coming in, hitting game-winning 55, 60-yard kicks. Does it limit you? Yes, but at least you know what you have. At least it's consistent and you could plan around it, and you don't have to be on your hands and knees praying for a guy to hit a kick from 30, 35, 27 yards. His time in Carolina, he's the 4th most accurate kicker in NFL history, tied for Chris Boswell after this weekend, who I mentioned hit a 60-yarder for the win.
Yeah,
and
money.
You mentioned it, right? They liked him. They just said, like, we want to go in a direction for a guy who might have a little bit more leg strength. It's nothing against Eddie Pineiro. So the fact you could sign a guy like this off the streets who's sitting on his couch, was about to go to Atlanta, said he chose the Niners because he wants an opportunity to win and hit high-pressure kicks. So he's about it. He's been in the league for 5 years now, so he's kind of a vet. And I just think it's a right move for the Niners.
What's a better nickname, Jake Money Moody or Eddie Dinero Pineiro?
You know, I was thinking.
I think that's a no contest one right there. I'm going Dinero Pineiro right there.
So I was thinking, like, if he were to hit a big kick, do you think that they could get the Eddie Pineiro? Do you think they could get that going, or does it not play for a kicker?
Do you think that the Levi's crowd could get that going on a whim?
Oh, we got Pineiro. I think it could play.
Maybe Sage. If he could hit his kicks reliably, we haven't had that for the past 3 years. I'd be willing to get that hyped up. It was funny because in the press conference, they probably asked Kyle about 10 questions about what was the process of getting Pineiro in here. I think Kyle literally said, okay, give me a list. Give me a list of the kickers that aren't signed right now. And he looked through 20. He's like, who's the most accurate out of them? Pineiro. Okay, bring him in here. How much does you want? 500 G's? Let's go. I don't think it even matters with Kyle right now that he doesn't have the leg. He just wants guys where when he gets to the red zone and for some situations, it's not going to work out, right? You're not going to score every time you get into the red zone. He's like, I just want a guy who can make those kicks, basically 45, 50 in. I just want a guy who's going to be lights out, and I think that's all he wants, which I don't blame him. If you've been dealing with Jake Moody, who's been a head case, missing all these easy field goals, I think you just want a guy who's going to give you the points on the board that you're expecting to get.
No, I 100% agree. And it's not like he was kicked. Like, the one thing about Pineiro that people aren't going to point out, he hasn't been kicking in the most kicker-friendly environments. He goes from Chicago to the Meadowlands to Carolina. It's not like this guy's been a dome kicker. He hasn't been, in the mile high kicking in altitude. So maybe there's a chance that he can get a little extra in the Bay Area, get those 50-yard field goal percentages up.
I'll be honest with you, bro. That Santa Clara grass, that ain't Shangri-La either. With the wind coming in, so we'll see. I don't know. Everybody gets that impression that it's California, but I feel like Santa Clara is a tough place to kick in. I feel like that's all that we could really bring up. I mean, Eddie Pineiro, if you're listening to this right now, if this video is getting out to you, just make your kicks and we'll love you. That's basically all it is. You're a kicker. Make your fucking kicks. That's all you practice. That's what we wanted with Jake Moody. That's what we didn't get. That's why he's on his way out. That's why you're in. Anything else, Adrian?
Yeah, last thing here. We've been referencing it, but just to read the list, right? These are the guys on the list with Pineiro as the most accurate kickers with over 100 minimum attempts here.
He's up there. I think he's top 5 all time.
Yeah, it's Tucker 1, Harrison Butker 2, Chris Boswell 3, our boy, the newly minted 49er, Eddie Pineiro 4, and the number 5 is Carlson, Daniel Carlson, kicker for the Raiders. So it's mainly recent guys. You got Justin Tucker's the only guy who's not active on that list.
I was going to say, Sage, I'm willing to do it.
He's suspended for 10 games is the thing.
I know, but I'm saying when he gets off of his suspension, I'm willing to do it. I don't care. Put that on the tape. I don't care. If you guys want to come after me for that, I don't know the specifics of the situation. Okay, maybe I am a little bit ignorant to that, but just the idea of bringing in Justin Tucker to this situation to kick for the 49ers, I'm all in on that.
I mean, he's the greatest of all time. Literally, he had a bad year last year, but obviously it turns out there was a lot going on for him. I just think he's a weird guy. I don't know how he'd mesh in the locker room. And one thing we talked about with Kyle versus Harbaugh is they're a big, we're drafting character. We're bringing in character. You see like a guy like Devondre Campbell, he stands out. They get him out of town. I just don't think he's the type of guy that they'd roll the dice on. They did it once with Reuben Foster. I'm not saying he's a Reuben Foster type, but I just don't think that they're going to, take that chance again. I think.
Why are you saying that? Because he's an opera singer?
I mean, there's that. I just think he's weird. He's getting in fights with Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes before the AFC Championship game.
To be fair, there was nothing that he could do there. They just threw his shit out of the way. They completely were just like, get the fuck out of here. That wasn't like Justin Tucker getting up into Kelsey's face.
All right, you want to keep defending him? I'll bring up his legal record.
Yeah, maybe that's where we should get on to the next topic, Sage. I feel like I might get kind of cooked by that one. But I feel like we see this every single year, and I'm already doing it in my head, Sage. I'm looking through the week 2 lines, and I'm only judging it based on what I saw last week. But we see every year in the NFL that the week 1, the teams that you see in week 1, there's always going to be a little bit of change. You're always going to see an overreaction. So we thought it'd be a good topic to do right here today. We're going to do a little bit of week 1 overreactions that we have after the Niners got the win in Seattle. And I got a couple good ones, Sage, but as always, I'm the host today, so I'm going to be a gentleman. Sage, I'm not going to lie. I love you to death. I think you know a lot about football, but I would say that you're a guy who tends to overreact a little bit. What's your number one overreaction after week 1?
My number one overreaction, and just remember, I don't fully believe any of this. I'm just saying it's an overreaction that's
Wait, hold on. How you going to preview the overreaction saying you don't believe in it?
I'm saying it's an overreaction. Like it could be a little bit true, but I'm not all the way there yet. I'm just overreacting.
Okay, so this isn't just pure fiction right now.
Yeah.
So these are things that you might believe.
Exactly. From what I've seen, you take out all the tape, everything from the past. What I'm basing my take off is just week 1. Chase.
Love it.
Chase, is Trent Williams washed? Is Trent Williams washed?
Yeah.
Have we seen the best of this guy? I think that's not up for debate, but has he fallen off to where he's just an average left tackle these days? The numbers in week 1 are jarring, and he wasn't going up against a JJ Watt, a Myles Garrett, a Micah Parsons. He was going up against Boye Mafe from the Seattle Seahawks. And who's the other guy? He was going up against Boye Mafe and Derek Hall. He allowed 10 pressures, 7 quarterback hurries. He blew 5 blocks according to PFF, and allowed a 26% pressure rate in week 1, all career worst since getting traded to the Niners. I mean, he's 37 years old. He basically punted on training camp, and every time the guy goes down, I hold my breath, and he has kind of a limp to him. So I'm a bit nervous. I don't think I'm there yet, but based off week 1, is Trent Williams washed?
That's a good overreaction because honestly, Sage, that is the worst week 1 game that he's ever had in his career. We're just basing off the PFF stats, but we saw that Boye Mafe was getting a lot of pressures on him. I went back, I looked at the tape, and he was getting driven back. Like there was a lot of times where Brock Purdy had to get out of the pocket because Trent Williams was getting cracked in on his blind side. And I brought it up on the last stream. I'm thinking that maybe a potential reason for this is that these were his first real game reps. Right? And let's think about it. He was out since week 10 of last year? That's got to be about 8 months without any game reps. But what I did also say, though, Sage, this has never happened. Even in the past couple of years where he didn't have any preseason reps heading into week 1, he was still, looking like one of the best tackles that we've ever seen. So you get 1 year older. He had one of the first injuries that he's really ever had in his NFL career last year. I honestly think that's a great overreaction because in the back of my mind, I don't think it's true, but there's a chance. There's definitely a chance that what we're seeing is immediate decline from Trent Williams.
It's one of those, it's one of those things where it's like, it's like the opposite of plausible deniability. Like there's enough there to make the case. So it's concerning. It's concerning to say the least.
Definitely concerning, Sage. You're going to like this one. So my overreaction is that this 49ers defense that we saw dominate Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks, this is a top 10 defense in the NFL. I was looking at the tape, Sage, and honestly, I was seeing some of the blitz packages that Saul threw in there. He had Fred Warner, he had Nick Bosa coming in together, and then they were switching up at the last second. These schemes that I saw from Robert Saleh compared to the 17 games that I saw last year from Nick Sorensen, it was night and day. So you're already seeing the Robert Saleh impact. But the number one thing in addition to that, Sage, D. Winters is the Dre Greenlaw replacement. D. Winters is the Dre Greenlaw replacement. I was so excited to see what I saw from him. And I love what I'm seeing from these young corners. Stout had a little bit of a shaky game, but he was aggressive. Mix that in with what you're seeing from Renardo Green and Diamador Lenore. All the things that I was really scared about with this 49ers defense is basically getting solved right now. You also have Marquis Siegel and Malik Mustafa who's set to come back. So I just think that this is going to be one of the elite defenses in the NFL. And I did not think that before the season. So I'm willing to overreact a little bit there.
Chase, I mean, I don't think it's an overreaction. I really think that having a guy, I mean, I kind of touched on it with the Mac Jones thing and how they brought in Matt Patricia in to call plays for him and how it screwed him up. It really screwed up their entire offense. It was the same thing last year, right? With Schneider with Sorensen, is that this guy had no clue what he was doing. There was no authenticity. There was no culture. There was no toughness to this defense. You saw it. I mean, the all-22 reigned supreme for Robert Saleh. You saw the designs. You saw how he used Fred Warner. I mean, D. Winters. Because it looks like Dre Greenlaw.
That's why we're getting out there.
Was out there just flying. He really unlocked this guy, and it's something that Niners fans needed. I mean, if they didn't have Robert Saleh, if they didn't throw all that money at Robert Saleh, what would they have done this offseason? Like hired Lou Anarumo and brought in a completely new defensive scheme. So I think that this guy really came in, helped the defense, and I see it, Chase. I'm with you on this one. I see the tracks for this defense to be a top 10 defense.
I was thinking about going top 5, but then I was looking through. I'm like, you got KC, you got, Denver.
KC's defense is rough.
I don't know if they're there yet, right? Even that Seattle defense that we went up against, I think that they're probably a little bit better set up than this 49ers defense, but they're getting their stage. I'm so excited to see also where they're going to be at the end of the season because I think they have 6 rookies on that defense. A lot of bad performances from those rookies, but I just think that they're going to get better. So it really is exciting just to think about where you're going to see this defense when it comes to playoff time based on what we're already seeing only in week 1.
Chase, I mean, that leads me right into my next overreaction. Did John Lynch / Robert Saleh, whoever was responsible for this draft, did they just go 0 for 3? Did they just miss completely on this defensive line? If you're using week 1, which, by the way, is their entire careers as evidence, you could make the case. You almost can't even make the case for the other side that these guys won't be bust if you just turn on the film. Let's just go through the week 1 numbers according to PFF, Chase. I mean, it's disgusting. Alfred Collins, a 26 grade on PFF, the worst player on your team graded. He was getting blown up on blocks. He was getting pushed back, could not get into the backfield, was not stopping runs. The guy barely played because he was so ineffective. Thank God for Kalia Davis. CJ West, a guy who I've signed my name to, a guy I want to see make plays, be that DJ Jones. I didn't hear his name once. I don't remember one thing he did. I don't remember one thing that guy did. And then Michael Williams was on his back more than he was on his feet the entire game. I thought this guy was an edge setter. I don't remember him making any spectacular plays. I don't remember him setting the edge. He wasn't even close. I mean, this tape, the thing on him was that he doesn't really have a pass rush package. He's not that great at getting to the quarterback, but he can set the edge. I didn't see him do either. So the latter was true, but I didn't see any of the good stuff either. So I get it. It's week 1. They're rookies. I'm just overreacting. I'm just a crazy guy here. But did they go 0-3 again? Because I have a really bad taste in my mouth after Javon Kinlaw, after Jackson, after all these guys they've brought in to be the savior, to be the guy beside Nick Bosa. But no, yet again, week 1, it was Nick Bosa. It was Fred Warner doing it all themselves in the run game.
That's not a bad one, Sage. It was not good. Going back on Alfred Collins, there was one play where he whiffed. Right? He just whipped on a guy, and then Gray Zabel literally knocked him the fuck into the ground.
That guy's impressive.
Bad. Like, he got destroyed on that play. It was honestly embarrassing looking back at the all-22. And I think CJ West only had 7 snaps. Are we willing to go back on the fact that he's going to be the 8th most valuable 49er for the year? Are we willing to, call that one dead?
I don't know. I mean, you know what I didn't account for is the rise of D Winters. So if I had to put anyone in, it's going to be that guy. Bump out CJ West just by virtue of guys getting thrown in. But to go back on it, 58
Yeah.
grade for CJ West, 47 for Michael Williams, 27 for Alfred Collins. Not a great week one.
No, and I will say that the one thing that you got to be looking at is that Michael Williams has been out for the past 3 to 4 weeks. He hasn't been practicing. We saw early in the offseason where Alfred Collins had a similar situation. He was out for about a month, came back to training camp, and he was just not in shape. You saw it all throughout the preseason. I mean, he looked like a slug out there, was just tired after a couple snaps, getting blown up. His pad level was way too high. So I saw a lot of similar things with Michael Williams in that scene, but it's concerning because you have guys who, let's just be honest, Sage, had no hype coming into the season. Guys like Kalia Davis and Sam Okawanu, and they both looked a lot better than those guys on the inside and Michael Williams. So we expected these guys to be big-time players if we thought that this Niners defense was going to be good enough for them to make a Super Bowl run. And they don't look that good. So it's concerning when you think about where could this team eventually get to. I definitely agree with you. That's a good one.
There's a lot of avenues for them to improve week one in a tough environment, going against a tough team, but it's got to get better. If you want to be a serious contender, it's got to be better.
All right, Sage. So I don't know how you're going to feel on this one, but I'm just going to go with it. Brock Purdy is the 7th best quarterback in the NFL. That is my week one overreaction. A lot of people, I'm looking at the national media, and so many people are just pointing to the 2 interceptions, saying how they were impressed with Brock Purdy. And if you look at the tape, Stage, this guy is under pressure every single play. The way that he's able to evade, make plays where it's almost like out of nothing, and you look at the pre-snap reads that he's getting, this guy knows exactly what the defense is doing. He knows where to go with the ball before the ball is snapped. He's leading guys. He's also, what you're seeing right now is that he's becoming so much more of a leader than he was the past couple of years because now he has that big deal. And with a lot of guys in the NFL, like Caleb Williams, we always want to just we always just want to harp on the talent factor. And even if they bring a lot of Pro Bowl guys in, they sign all these first-round draft picks where they're wide receivers, they're tight ends, you're bringing in new offensive linemen, but we still see the same thing. All these things that we always see with quarterbacks that make it hard for them to succeed in the NFL, they don't have it, but because they got drafted number 1 overall, we're all going to expect that eventually it's going to come. But we look at guys like Brock Purdy who maybe, don't run a 4.5, don't have the strongest arm, aren't 6'5", and we always try to give reasons for why we shouldn't believe with what we're seeing from them. I'm just so impressed with Brock Purdy, and I thought that this was one of the best games that I ever saw on tape with him as a 49er, especially considering that he got that late game comeback. So I think that Brock Purdy's a top 7 quarterback in the NFL.
Listen, I can't go that far just yet. There's some guys I have ahead of him. I do think he's in that fluent, 8 to 12 range, but he showed you something where you didn't really see it in his first 2 years. Last year was obviously they were trailing the whole time, but you wanted to see him lead a game-winning drive. He had it taken away from him in the past because Jake Moody's missed some kicks. He's out of town. I do like to see it. I mean, Mahomes last year was getting praised for doing the exact same thing Purdy did. Play a shitty game for 3 quarters. Even though Purdy had a nice opening drive, he did enough to keep him in it. Keep your team in the game, and when it's time to kill. He did that. I can't say, coming off the year he had last year, and then what the tape showed from the second and third quarter, that he's a top 7 guy ahead of a guy like, I don't know.
He
Jaden.
Looked good. I'm telling you, Sage, he looked good on Sunday, man. There was not a lot of opportunities for him to succeed. The wide receivers weren't getting open, and he was getting pressured on every play.
I will say I was not impressed in general with the quarterback play. I mean, the week 1 overreaction because Aaron Rodgers back to being the best quarterback in the league, right? Like what you saw from Josh, obviously, Lamar, Lamar fell apart though at the end. Josh obviously had a great start to finish game. So it was a weird week 1, man. I mean, I've been saying it. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this league that a conversation needs to be had of how good actually are they. And hot take, obviously this has nothing to do with it. Joe Burrow. This guy, I don't know what he's done to get such a pass from the media to say that he's cemented. The executive poll came out that he was voted the 2nd best quarterback in the league behind Mahomes. I just can't understand it, bro. How is this guy's team always in these situations where they're about to lose to a shitty team or they lose to a shitty team? I don't get it. A guy like Purdy, all he does is win.
I will say with Joe Burrow, he did lead the fucking Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl in his second year. Sage, this is the cheapest team in like all professional sports. Did you see what happened with Boomer Esiason?
Okay, but this is different.
No, but I mean, all I'm saying with Joe Burrow, and we're going to get off this, but the Bengals suck. I think that's why everybody's giving Joe Burrow credit, because they're so bad, and he makes them legit, even with a terrible defense.
But he has literally the best, and him having a terrible defense plays into his numbers. He has the best receivers in the league. It's not even close.
A lot of people are agreeing with you. I'm not going to lie. I did have okay, so I'll go through some of the names. This is probably going to get cut out anyway, but here are some of the people that I had Purdy over. And I actually do believe this. I believe in a lot of this. There's maybe a couple that
I'll let you go, and I'll stop you when I hear someone that I disagree with.
Baker Mayfield.
I disagree.
Okay, tell me the last time Baker Mayfield made a Super Bowl. Okay. Tell me the last time Baker Mayfield made an NFC Championship game. He's got a great team there with Tampa Bay, and he lost in the first fucking round last year. So I get it. He's had his career comeback, but call me when he wins a playoff game.
Okay.
I think he won one, maybe 5 years ago.
He won 2 years ago. He won two. Wait, he won.
Which one?
2 years ago, he beat.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he won a playoff game 2 years ago, and then he almost beat the Lions.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Who did they beat? I'm trying to think. It was an upset, too. And then they almost beat the Lions.
They did. Who was it? Was it the
Cowboys? Yeah, I don't know why Cowboys came to mind. That makes sense. I think he beat the Cowboys. Or Philly. He beat Philly. They beat the shit out of Philly.
Oh, yeah. They beat the ghost of the 2023 Philadelphia Eagles, where they blew up everything after that year. I do remember that. But I don't know. I have him over Baker. I just feel like Baker still
You're a Baker hater, though.
Isn't that reliable?
I'm not a Baker guy, though. I don't love Baker. I think his numbers are inflated by the fact he plays with one of the best receiving cores, and he has a great O-line. I
agree. And then, okay,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting nervous about my boy Bucky. But go ahead. Keep going.
I got Matt Stafford.
I'd rather have Purdy. I don't give a shit about the throws he makes when he's in the pocket. I'd rather have Purdy, for sure.
All right. We agree there. Kyler Murray.
Yeah, you don't have to convince me.
Jared Goff.
Yeah, easily.
Jordan Love.
It's weird. I don't know what to think of Love, but I'd rather have Purdy.
I was watching the tape, and he still makes a lot of dumb decisions.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
He does. I mean, there was a lot of times where he had an open pocket, and, he was dishing out to guys. Jordan Love, that was a tough one, but
that interception he threw last year against the Rams, it's going to take a while for me to get that out of my head.
He had a pretty similar one on Sunday where it's just like, I think he threw a pick, it got called back. Then the next play, he made an even dumber decision, threw another pick. And I'm like, okay,
he's Brett Favre.
People are getting a little too high on this guy.
He's Brett Favre.
So this is going to be one that's going to get a lot of people pissed off. Jalen Hurts.
It's so funny because I think I'd rather have Purdy, but you have to give it to Hurts. It's like one of those things.
Fair. That was where it was an overreaction. I had to go a little bit overboard.
Well,
I was thinking top 8, and I'm like, no, fuck it. I'm just going to do top 7. I'm going to say he's better than Jalen Hurts.
He has the keys to the best situation in all of the NFL. Because it's not just
push. Like, come on, the tush push. Yeah. I'm not giving you credit for the tush push. Sorry, call me crazy.
I mean, they won a game last week where his receivers caught like 30 yards worth of passes because he just ran it. So like, is he really a quarterback? Like, I get he's a weapon. We're gonna have to open that can of worms, but I'd rather have Purdy.
And then we have my boy Bo Nix and your boy CJ Stroud.
But no, I'm not a CJ guy, first of all. I feel like I'm the anti-CJ guy. I hate
CJ. I never got that hype, man. I never got the CJ.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really from our friend group bought into it. I feel like we were all pretty much agreed.
Dominique Foxworth, maybe.
Yeah.
Ryan Clark.
Chase, you know where I stand. I don't think Bo Nix is good at all. I think what he put on tape Sunday was absolutely despicable. Literally, I hate the guy. I hate the guy so much. I
mean, hate the guy Sage. He's an Oregon guy. How can you hate a guy?
I know, it's tough.
Who's from your alma mater?
I think it's
good for the Ducks.
I always rooted against him, and then you just jumped on his bandwagon. So I'm like, now I have to root against him. It's like Stephen A. with Tim Tebow. It's like, I don't care what this guy does from here on out. It's like I have to hate him.
Who's my guy with you?
What do you mean?
Who's my guy where I just don't like him because you like him?
I can think of off the top of my head. I can think of 3. Jaden Daniels. Mahomes.
Okay, yeah. See, you're a little sneaky. I try to lead you into it, Sage. Caleb's my guy when it comes to you. You were all over Caleb.
I hate Caleb.
Stand it.
I hate Caleb.
Yeah, now you do. Last year you weren't. Hey, Sage, we have video evidence of you saying that Caleb Williams was the guy. We do.
I did say I'd rather have Caleb than Purdy. That's out the window now. Like I've capitulated. That guy, I can't see it anymore. Like what I saw Monday night, you just can't turn that around. He's an idiot. Did you see that report? So to get on the Caleb Williams topic,
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
Some guy, I forget his name, he's a journalist, released like the same guy who released the story about McDermott with the 9/11 thing.
Oh yeah, this was big. This was big. Yeah.
So he released something that said that Ryan Poles never told Eberflus that Caleb Williams was dyslexic, and that he was basically questioned his work ethic. He heard from a bunch of like USC scouts that he's not the hardest worker. He's not going to be a guy who goes the extra mile, and he doesn't have the cerebral factor. He's just talent. And he basically hid it from the coaches and just drafted the guy. Never told the coaches, whatever. And when you hear stuff like that, and the GM's the guy that's leaking it, it's raised the sirens like something's wrong. Even Nick Wright went on First Things First today and said, I'm pulling back. Like my thoughts that this guy's for sure going to be a stud in this league are like hurt. Like it's not the same anymore after what he saw Monday. So even the biggest Caleb fans are turning skeptic.
So did Nick Wright say that just because of the dyslexia factor, or the fact that he looked like shit on Monday night?
Well, no, he was saying
like shit all last year.
He was saying the fact that they get out of the huddles late, he can't read a defense. He said it probably goes back to him being dyslexic. Like he gets the call, he goes to his play sheet, and it's all moving. So he can't get the play in on time. They had like 4 delay of games on Monday, and 2, they called a timeout. And also the use of challenges. Ben Johnson's on the hot seat right now. The use of challenges, not having your kicker kick it out of bounds. It's stupid shit, though. It's not Callahan level, but it's getting there.
All right. Can we go a little? Well, it's on topic, but it's basically off topic.
Yeah.
Dyslexia.
Yeah.
Never understood how that's possible. How is that possible?
It's like a, I don't know.
As someone who's not dyslexic, please let me know. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I don't know how that's actually a possible thing.
I don't
like. I'm looking at this Corona bottle right now. Is it actually where it's jumbled up? Like, how does that happen?
I think the way it works is that the letters on a page move. I'm trying to chat GPT it right now. What is the cause of dyslexia? It's not giving me anything juicy.
That sounds like some shit out of like Harry Potter or something, where it's like a book where you have like letters that are moving around. And no, but could you imagine being from like the 1600s or something
when you don't know what it
dyslexia, is? And they're just like looking at you like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
It says the cause of dyslexia is not known. It's genetic and neurological. Could be environmental. Who knows, man? That's why he paints his nails.
Maybe, but dude, it did not look good on Monday. And everybody, including you, sorry to throw you under the bus. After that first drive, you guys were hyping him up a little bit. I know.
That the throw to Roma Odunze, whatever, that was special. Everything else was not special. The missing checkdowns, missing DJ Moore on a touchdown, and then getting him killed the very next play. DJ Moore must hate his life. That guy has to be a top 3 most miserable wide receiver of all time. He has had no help ever.
So I'll tell you, I was looking at the tape about the team that we're about to talk about. I think that Chris Olave is going to be on that list. We'll tell you.
Oh
why.
My God, dude! The screen,
dude.
That guy, Will Johnson. That's the cornerback from Michigan. That's the guy who fell. It's supposed to be a top 15 pick.
Dude, he was like the top 4 prospect, and then fell all the way to the 3rd round.
And dude, they got a steal. I think he had the best or second best coverage grade, albeit against the Saints, but he looked like a stud, man. He had a pick, was all over Olave, shut down Shaheed when he was on him. I was really impressed. I was hoping that the Niners would have drafted him in the 2nd round, but we got Alfred Collins instead, so I can't complain.
I guess so, but yeah. I mean, let's just dive into it right now, Sage. So the Niners are taking on the Saints in week 2, and we basically know the story with New Orleans. We're going to play them on the road. We're a little bit injured. We're probably not going to have Brock Purdy, but this was widely regarded as the worst team in the NFL coming into the season. You got Kellen Moore coming in with his first year as the head coach. And I don't know if you watched all the games, Sage, but they lost 20-13 against the Cardinals. I thought it was honestly just one of the most boring games that I've watched. You had the Saints come in with probably the worst jerseys I've seen in the last couple of years when it comes to the NFL. So what were your impressions? Did you watch the game? And if you did, what were your impressions on the Saints when you watched?
I thought they looked like what I thought they'd look like. I mean, it didn't seem like the Cardinals played particularly well. Your boy, was running open all game, Marvin Harrison. It just Kyler couldn't connect with him
Told you.
a couple times. But I mean, is it because the Saints are shit, or are the Cardinals that good? Because I'm buying that the Saints are just shit. It seems like the Cardinals could have put 30 on them. They just played a bad game, still won with ease. I mean, how are the Saints going to exploit the Niners, right? Are they going to run with Alvin Kamara? Because I can't see an avenue where they pass all over this Niners defense, being that Spencer Rattler is their quarterback. Well, they had the worst run blocking grade, according to PFF, in week 1. They have one of the worst quarterbacks in the league in Spencer Rattler, a guy who basically was drafted to get, or whose replacement was drafted, and they want the fuck out of town. It's just they're waiting for Tyler Shutt to take over. So I don't think that it's much of a change for the defense, right? Like, obviously the Brock Purdy news is what's going to be circling the entire game. That's what's going to be dominating. It's going to be Mac Jones, but I don't think much of the Saints. Like, it's hard for me. There's no interest in them. You can't really dive into it. I mean, the Niners Saints have history. I have here, they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They've given us some bangers over the years. This is going to be the exact opposite. This is going to be Spencer Rattler versus Mac Jones versus the ghost of Chris Olave and what's ever left of the Niners receiving corps. So I'm expecting just a gritty, low-scoring Niners just, grind them and win this one.
So what I will say, Sage, when I was watching the game, I was kind of impressed with their defense. I thought they made it pretty hard on the Cardinals, and they did have a chance to win the game. Jawan Johnson almost caught that pass to bring it to OT. So it wasn't a situation where I was, impressed with the Cardinals, but the Saints were almost in that game. When you're looking at the team itself, they did not have a good defense last year, right? I think they were the second worst rush defense in the entire NFL. So you're expecting Shanahan to want to expose that with the zone run scheme, but they do have some guys, Sage. I mean, you have Cam Jordan coming in who, is 36, and that's something that you're seeing with that entire defense. You have a lot of guys who, if you look back 10 years ago, were really solid players in the NFL, but now they're 36. They brought in Justin Reed from the Chiefs, who had a good game from what I saw on Sunday. But yeah, it really comes down to what stands out to me is that you have an offense with playmakers like Chris Olave, Kamara, who I still think is probably about 80% of whatever prime Alvin Kamara was. But a couple other guys like Raheed Shaheed, and they have a solid O-line. But it really just comes down to the fact that Spencer Rattler did not look good at all. He has some mobility, but he basically has the traits of every shitty quarterback that you ever seen, where the decision-making is just terrible. He holds on to the ball way too long, and he struggles with accuracy. But he does have some talent in the sense that he can move around a little bit, and he's got a live arm. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Let's just dive into kind of the keys to the game. What are you looking at? How are the Niners going to try to attack the Saints? What are they going to try to make sure that the Saints aren't going to do to make sure that we don't get upset? Because this is only set at -3 right now. I feel like Vegas thinks that the Saints are a live dog. So with Mac Jones coming in, I don't think this is a for sure win for the Niners at all, even though we may be sleeping on the Saints a little bit.
I think the only thing I'm sure of is that the Niners have the two best units in the game. They have the best unit. I think their defense is going to absolutely dominate. If the Cardinals defense could dominate the Saints, I think that the Niners defense, with a week of film, some preparation, some guys getting some reps under their belt, I think the Niners are going to be able to dominate the Saints in the trenches. Hopefully, you can't let them run against you. I think that's their key to winning the game is, can Alvin Kamara get unlocked? Can he move the sticks on you? Because I don't expect Spencer Rattler to be able to move. I think Deommodore Lenoir is going to put Chris Olave in jail. I mean, do
you really think that though? Chris Olave is good, man.
Dude, I really don't think he's that good. I think he's soft. I mean, he's injured. He went to the blue medical tent, the three worst words in sports. I don't know, man. Like, where do you see like an avenue where this team could generate offense without the Niners turning the ball over and shooting themselves in the foot? I get you don't have Brock Purdy, but you still have Christian McCaffrey. It's not like Brock Purdy was doing the Niners defense any favors last week. They still were able to keep Sam Darnold under wraps. They still were able to keep JSN under wraps despite a couple big plays. Shut down Cooper Kupp, the second option. Rashid Shaheed's a guy who makes me a little bit nervous because he's fast. He can slip out, maybe pop the top off the defense, slip in for one, but I just can't see it. Like, these are scenarios where I'm trying to talk myself into the Saints, when in reality, sometimes in the NFL, you just get a shitty game, and sometimes it's going to be a grind, and I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be Mac Jones passing the ball no more than 16 times, a lot of McCaffrey, a lot of Brian Robinson Jr. You run the ball, you don't let them run it on you. One thing I saw that was interesting was that
What'd you see, baby?
the Cardinals had the highest rated pass coverage last week. And I just think that goes to show, like, I don't think that's a Cardinals secondary thing. I think that's a Saints just being the Saints thing, and that the Niners are going to have a lot of success defending the Saints. Can they just generate enough points? I think 17 gets you the win and the cover.
Yeah, what I'm looking at is with the Saints team, when you have a guy like Rattler, basically my keys to the game right now is you got to keep Rattler in the pocket because he can run. I don't want to see situations where it's 3rd and 5 and you have Spencer Rattler rolling around in the pocket and he's finding a way to move the chains. Those are going to be things that could maybe break it down and give the Saints a chance to move the ball, get into the red zone, and eliminating the big plays. They have a lot of difference makers, honestly. They have some good weapons, right? You're not maybe a big fan of Chris Olave, but I've seen him be successful with bad quarterback play in his entire career. Rashid Shaheed. Is it Rashid Shaheed or Rashid Shaheed?
Rashid Shaheed.
That's a fucked up name. But he's honestly a guy who could be a big,
Beautiful
deep
name.
option. We saw that before he got injured last year. It's kind of funny to think about it, but after 2 weeks, a lot of people were really high on what the Saints offense could be. It's in part because of those two receivers. So I think you want to make sure to avoid the big plays with them. And honestly, a guy like Alvin Kamara, he's probably 80% of what he was, but we know that if you let Alvin Kamara break a couple tackles, he could find ways to get into the end zone. So it's not a situation where, I'm looking at the Saints offense and I'm just kind of negating that they could do anything against this Niners defense. You brought up the fact that this interior D-line is a little bit weak. I think they could find ways to run the ball. So just control the controllables, make sure you keep Rattler in the pocket, eliminate the big plays. But two guys I'm looking at, Sage, let me know what you think about this. I'm interested to see how Marquis Siegel and Upton Stout play in this game, because Upton Stout, he's going to be in the nickel or he's going to be in the slot a little bit, and you got 3 wide receivers, including Brandon Cooks, who are going to be lined up against him. I think that's going to be their strategy, to try to attack Upton Stout. That's what you saw the Seahawks do. That's what I'm expecting in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be on the secondary because I expect that they're not going to be able to run the ball. I think that Saul is going to have these guys ready. Like, we're not going to let Alvin Kamara beat us. We're going to put it on Spencer Rattler. So I want to see the rookies. I thought Siegel played a fine game last week. Upton Stout, you saw the flashes. You saw a lot of things he needs to clean up. So I like those. I mean, I want to kick it to you, though. Like, how, if you had to make your best argument, like make the case, make your best case, how could the Saints beat us? Because it seems like you're a little bit more pessimistic than I am. It seems like you're giving the Saints a little bit more props than I am.
Well, I think you need to be pessimistic because I hate to be the guy who just looks at the Vegas line and then says, oh, it's only a 3-point line. This is probably going to be a game. But there's a reality to that. I think that if the public saw that line, a lot of people would instantly go with the 49ers. So I do get the sense that this may be a rat line a little bit. And I think that this Saints defense is a lot friskier than we're giving them credit for. Especially, Sage, your boy, Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley coaching up that defense a little bit. They made it extremely hard on James Conner to run the ball last week. And I think that's going to be a big strategy for them. They're going to want to stop that run game. They're going to make it hard for Brian Robinson and Christian McCaffrey to break tackles and get past the second level of that defense. And then you have Mac Jones. What happens if Mac Jones has to drop back 30 times this game? I think he's going to make mistakes. That's just what I've seen throughout his entire career, and that's something that could shift this game. What if Mac Jones has to drop back 30 times, and he throws a couple picks, gives a couple turnovers to the Saints? They get some extra possessions to put some points up on the board. That could shift the game entirely.
I mean, okay, in Spencer Rattler's career, he started 8 games. Do you want to guess his record?
Probably 0-8.
He's 0-8.
1-7.
He is 0-8. So
yeah.
Are the Niners really going to be the first team to lose to Spencer Rattler? The once, supposed to be first overall pick out of college, totally fell apart. But in those games, his offense has put up 27. That's the outlier. Then 10, 8, 0, 19, 10 again, 19. And then last week they put up 13. And I just don't see it. It comes down to the quarterback. It comes down to the Niners not beating themselves. I think they're well coached. I think you have Salah on defense. You have Shanahan running the offense. You have I think you have the quarterback advantage. Like, I think I'd rather have Mac Jones and Spencer Rattler.
Probably. Yeah.
So I still think even without Purdy, I still think you have the more experienced and the better quarterback. And then you have better weapons all around. I think the only place they could maybe get you is in the trenches, but just by an inch, like who knows? So I really think like even without Purdy, the Niners should not lose this game. It's not an excuse.
So, okay, I have a bad vision for this game. So just imagine this, Sage. Imagine you see the Niners offense coming out on Sunday morning. Also, what do you think about the 10 o'clock start time?
I mean,
I love that.
I love
that personally.
I love a mix of it. Like, I think it's perfect for this Sunday. When you're in New Orleans, you want it to be 10 o'clock.
Yeah, no doubt. You don't want a night game in New Orleans. That's just,
have your sweats on, get some black coffee. Nothing better.
I agree. But where was I getting to? Okay, so this is my bad vision, Sage. Imagine the Niners offense is coming out on Sunday, and you're seeing Brian Robinson, you're seeing Christian McCaffrey get stuffed. Jawan Jennings isn't suiting up. Jordan Watkins isn't suiting up. You got Kendrick Bourne, and you got Ricky Pearsall and Jake Tongas as the only guys running routes with Mac Jones at quarterback. That's a scary situation.
I got Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, you have Christian McCaffrey, but he's getting stuffed in the run game.
I ain't scared.
You don't think that they're going to be all over Christian McCaffrey like Wild on Rice in this game?
I think that they can try, but they don't have the personnel to shut him down. I think that they can use him in the pass game. They're going to be creative. Might see a couple use check runs, maybe like a little flip back. Who knows? I think they have enough. I think that they're going to have enough with Pearsall, with Tongas, with whichever tight end they decide to play. And with Jordan Watkins is going to be flashy. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I get you're building the image for it, but I just don't think they're going to be able to shut down the run. I really don't. Like, I think Seattle's going to have one of the best run defenses this week, I think Seattle's going to have one of the best run defenses in the league this year. And you weren't the most effective, but you were good enough on the in the run against Seattle. So I think there's a chance that you're going to be really dominant in the run against the Saints, who are way shittier. They did do a good job against James Conner, I will say, but this is a totally different beast.
I hope I'm wrong, but what I think we're all going to realize coming out of this game is how much we should appreciate Brock Purdy. That's all I'm going to say. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we get the win. We head on back to Levi's for the home opener against the Cardinals, but I have my doubts. What I will say, Sage, I'm pissed off. I was looking all across FanDuel, DraftKings. I didn't see any. Do you see any prop bets for this game?
No, they took them all down because they're waiting for the Purdy news.
I was trying to look at Brian Robinson props because that's a guy who I also think is going to have a big game. I think they're going to rely on Brian Robinson a lot in the run game. I was just trying to take all the Brian Robinson overs. I didn't see any.
Yeah, so I think that they took him down because they realized that if it's Mac Jones, there's a chance they don't pass the ball more than 15 times and everyone's just going to hammer some unders. Where if it's Purdy, it's probably going to be an air show. So I think they just have to adjust those. I think they know. I mean, they moved the game line enough where they know it's going to be Purdy, or they know it's going to be Mac Jones. I just don't think that they've had it in their little system, their whatever it's called, their model of how
little algorithms.
The model they build, how Mac Jones is going to look with this offense.
Well, I will say, Sage, I mean, you hear it all the time. They don't build all these casinos in Vegas because they lose money. They make money for a reason. And I would have been all over those Brian Robinson props. But let's just get to it, Sage. I mean, I think that this is probably the game I was least excited for on the schedule. Dare I say?
Yeah, it has to be.
When it just comes to like breaking down the game, maybe if you're going to New Orleans, that makes it exciting. But this is probably the least exciting game on the schedule. And now the fact that you don't have Brock Purdy in there probably makes that, a lot less interesting. Or probably more, I guess. I don't know. Kind of depends on how you see it.
I mean, you're missing your two most exciting guys other than CMC, but you're missing your quarterback. You're missing George Kittle, who has a history in New Orleans. I'm sure those fans are happy.
Yeah, he does.
They're not going to be seeing him Sunday. So I think it's going to be a gritty win chase. I'm expecting the Niners just to grind them down, play solid defense, take care of the ball. I think we're going to see a lot of Brian Robinson Jr. I think we're going to see a ton of Christian McCaffrey. They're going to force feed this guy the ball. Big Christian McCaffrey week for fantasy owners. I got the Niners, Chase, 24-6. I don't think they let the Saints get into the end zone. I think they'll let them, kick some field goals. Niners are going to take care of the ball, run all over this Saints defense. I think 24-6. Niners win big in the Bayou.
Ooh. Okay. So, Sage, I got the Niners pulling it out as well. I got the Niners winning 24-14. I just think that Mac Jones is going to probably get the start, like we brought up. But I just think the 49ers are going to find a way to get that run game going. I think that that's going to open up a lot of opportunities for Mac Jones to hit guys in the play action game. And then on the other side, you brought up Spencer Rattler is one of the worst quarterbacks, honestly, that I've ever seen. And I think they're going to do a good job at getting pressure on him, making sure that he stays in the pocket. And I think that Fred Warner, D Winters, no matter what, they're going to find a way to impact that run game to make sure that Kamara doesn't get going. You're probably going to see, I think, a couple turnovers from Spencer Rattler. But what I will say is, Sage, even though I think the Niners are going to win this game, watch out for the backdoor cover. I feel like this is a major backdoor cover. So I would take the Niners money line, and I would take the Niners under. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game.
I like the game under. I do like the game under for sure. I think, what is it set out now? How much did it move since Purdy went out? It's been.
So I saw 42.5.
Yeah, I mean, we both have it going well under. I have 30 total points. You have 38 total points. Yeah. So we both have it pretty comfortably under. So I do like that. I like the Niners, maybe in a teaser with that under if you want to do same game, even though I gave you the advice, never tease across the zero. Find another spread and throw it with the Niners, Chase.
Like I said, I'll emphasize this. My only fear that the Niners are actually going to lose this game is if the run game gets stuffed and we see Mac Jones have to drop back 30 times. I think he will turn the ball over a couple times. So Shanahan, got to get that run game going. This is honestly a big prove-it game for Shanahan to me. You don't have a lot of your weapons. You got a guy like Mac Jones in there. What can you do, right? Because everybody ranked you the number one play caller in the NFL. I want to see Kyle Shanahan have a big game.
This is the ultimate heat check for Kyle. He did it with Mr. Irrelevant, who actually turned out to be a pretty decent quarterback. But in the back of a lot of, skeptics' minds is it really Brock Purdy's this good, or is it Kyle? I mean, the guys who don't want to give Kyle Shanahan their flowers. It seems like the Niners, they paid him this offseason. Niners fans know Brock Purdy's legit, but he did it with Jimmy Garoppolo, who flamed out as soon as he got out of the nest of Kyle Shanahan. He did it with Nick Mullins. He did it with CJ Beathard. Can he do it with Mac Jones, a guy who's been given up, thrown to the streets, called a bust? Can he do it with Mac Jones? If he does it with Mac Jones, then there's no saying that Kyle Shanahan, at the bare minimum, isn't a top 3 offensive mind / head coach in this league.
Couldn't agree more, Sage. Or any other points that you want to get off, Sage, about anything you want to riff on?
I just think the last thing that I'd want to hit is that it is a tricky spot. That I think the one thing that isn't being discussed enough is it kind of is similar to that week 2 game in Minnesota, where you're going into a hostile environment in a dome, that morning game against the
Superdome.
Against a team you're kind of underestimating. Is it maybe a trap spot? Who knows? I think as a Niner fan, I'm so into the details of the team and what the matchup presents that I sometimes don't think of the bigger aspects of like the gambling, the travel, the overnight stay, whatever it may be. So that's the one thing I would say that concerns me a bit. But other than that, Chase, I'm just looking forward to another win and the Niners being 2-0 because I really think that it's going to be easy pickings.
Are we scared about any Niners just going all out on Bourbon Street Saturday night?
Who's the number one culprit?
I would have said Debo. I mean, I think Brandon Ayuk's getting fucked up on Saturday. I'm going to say that. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm thinking that Brandon Ayuk on the PUP right now, I think he's going to have a good time in New Orleans on Saturday.
I'm going Juszczyk. Juszczyk.
You think Juszczyk? I'll tell you this. I know Kristen and George Kittle's wife are going to get fucked up. They're going to have a good time.
Yeah. I've been seeing the TikToks. They added a third member to their posse. I don't know whose wife it is.
Oh, no. That's Ricky Pearsall's girlfriend.
Oh, that is, it is Ricky Pearsall.
I mean, you should have known. You should have known that was Ricky Pearsall's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not seeing anybody else. Let me see here. I mean, I feel like the Niners, especially with Kyle Shanahan, he's got them all buttoned up. This if you had the Jim Harbaugh 49ers coming into town,
we saw it.
They're getting fucked up. They're getting fucked up, dude.
We saw it in the
all the Saints first quarter bets. If it was the Jim Harbaugh.
I am bummed. There was a lot of props I wanted to just sniff around and see, but
that's what I mean. No props.
Maybe Friday. I mean, we're gonna come back with a little gambling segment Friday once everything settles, everything crystallizes. We'll be able to see through it. Maybe we'll throw in a little Niners parlay. I do want to say plus 560. Gave it to him last week. George Kittle anytime touchdown score. Had one drive to do it. He did it. Seahawks result of first drive punt plus 100 hit. And then a Niners money line to top it off. So what I didn't give you in my league bets, I gave you in my Niners same game parlay.
Oh, wait, Sage, was that the 3 best bets that you posted on TikTok?
That is the 3 best bets I posted on TikTok. Follow us, Westbound Down Pod. Chase prevented us last week. We almost had a perfect fade week. Chase had to ruin it with the 1 win, but we'll be back, man. We'll go 6-0 this week.
So, yeah, to anybody listening on podcasts or maybe even YouTube right now, we didn't do the best bets today. We wanted to give it a couple more days because, in all honesty, Sage, it is hard to do the gambling picks on Wednesday. We're putting our reputations on the line. We don't even know the injury reports, so wanted
look
to
at you with the Ravens last week. You got screwed over with the Ravens. You wait till
we want to give it a couple. We want to give it a couple days, but definitely look out on YouTube Shorts, TikTok. That's where we're going to give you our 3 best bets for week 2. And I guess anything else, Adrian? I mean, I'm telling you, this was a tough day. This is a tough day. You have everything going on in America right now. Brock Purdy's out. We're trying to hype up the fucking Saints game in week 2. Sage, this is a week where we got tested.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, against all the elements. I mean, it's muggy.
Goddamn.
In San Francisco, it was hot. Now it's raining, and it creates humidity, which just makes you sweat. It's been tough, man. The news, everything. Chase, I'm just pumped to get back to it. I mean, 1 official week. We're officially through the grinder. We got the Monday news cycle. We went through the entire week of the NFL. We're officially in. Our toes are dug into the sand. So I'm happy, man, to keep the ball rolling. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Red Note, Instagram. Did I miss any? Follow us on YouTube. Please, if you're here, like, subscribe, because please share it. It's the best thing you could do. Leave a comment. Hit our mailbag. We have our email linked in the bio.
Yes, we do.
Get in some questions. We want to start that up. Talk to the viewers. So please let us know anything that comes up. We'll bring it up on the show.
Well done, Sager. One thing I will say, I never bet on week 1 in the NFL, right? I just feel like that's always kind of a bad thing to do. You don't know how the teams are going to come out. I will say, after week 2, Sage, I'm going to start getting frisky.
I need to.
I'm going to start getting frisky. I'm going to look at tape from both weeks. I'm going to start to really get an idea of what these teams are when those first lines come out on Sunday. Ooh, I'm going to start diving in hot.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
So look out for that. We're probably going to have those best bets coming out on Friday and Saturday. We'll see. I mean, hopefully the Niners head down to New Orleans, take care of business, heading into the opener at Levi Stadium in week 3 against the Arizona Cardinals. But that's going to be it for the stream today. We're going to come to you right after we get done with that game, probably around, 1 o'clock, Sandra, on Sunday?
Yeah, I'd assume the game ends around 12:30.
Yeah, around 12:30, 1 o'clock. So look out for us on YouTube. But that's going to be it for the stream today, guys. We'll talk to you later.